I haven't, been super happy, and I think I've dealt with it in like unproductive ways. What is happening?
Oof. This was me in January 2020. I didn't even know what was yet to come, but I had hit my rock bottom. Let's go back for a sec to July 2019, a year after I graduated from USC and tried and failed to start a company with my friend and YouTuber Shelby Church. P.S. Since I get this question all the time, we have no hard feelings towards each other. We still talk, and I think we both learned a lot from this experience. After 5 years of living in LA, I packed up my things, said bye to my friends, and moved home to Anchorage, Alaska. I would soon move to San Francisco, where my boyfriend at the time was living, and get a job in tech and marketing. Well, that was the plan. That catches us up to January 2020. Let's go. I've been a perfectionist for as long as I can remember. Perfectionism is really just anxiety, and anxiety is really just a fear of the future. And it makes sense if you're a perfectionist that you have a fear of the future because you can't control it to be perfect. And if you live too much in this space, you can spiral. It can become debilitating. To the point,
I think that I've kind of suffered from depression. That sounds so weird to say out loud.
I was failing by essentially all accounts of traditional measures of success. I had no career, I was living with my parents, I was a true unemployed millennial. But the more time I spent at home with my family and my community, the more realizations I had about my life, the direction I was going, what I wanted to do, the relationships that I was in, and I felt like I was finally healing.
I think it is really nice that I'm home because I'm also really close with my family. I just think that Anchorage is like an incredible community. You grow up with so many diverse people and you truly just see people for who they are. It's not about your ethnicity. It's not about what you look like. It's not about what you're dressed like. It's not about what you do, not about the school you went to, not about your job title. People really value the person inside of people here. My 2020 goal for this year is just, to emphasize community more. Coming back home, it is so important.
Moving back home allowed me the privilege of having my physiological and safety needs met. Next, I was really working on love and belonging so I could get to esteem. I was working part-time at my dad's office doing social media and videos.
Exactly as follows. Doing okay?
I just filmed a testimonial video. It was honestly an incredible story. It turned out so well.
Well, that's good.
She really talked about the integrative care here.
Yeah, we got a good thing going here.
In the meantime, I was looking for what I wanted to do with my life and my career. Since starting my YouTube channel, I've always been really interested in tech because I experienced firsthand the potential of digital platforms.
Learning how to edit videos and put it on the internet, you have the ability to access a potentially infinite amount of people. There is no limit to how many people you can reach on the internet.
And I kept hearing about this coding bootcamp that offered a career change so promising that you wouldn't even have to pay tuition until you got a full-time job. I was living rent-free with my parents, and so I thought that this was the perfect opportunity. In hindsight, it was pretty obvious that it probably was not going to work for me. We'll get there in September. In February, I took a break from my coding school to go pick up my car in San Francisco, where my ex-boyfriend was graciously holding onto it to go drive it to Washington State to ship to Alaska. I felt like every step that I took forward, something set me 2 steps back. I just felt like the universe had turned against me. I also started doing a sober month each year after college, and February was supposed to be the month that I went sober. But this is also when I started to realize that I had a dependency on substances, which would then take me 8 months to fully realize. But one thing that I can always be grateful for are my relationships.
I'm so glad she's here. That's what I was waiting for. I literally know.
When I was in San Francisco, I had a conversation with a very kind stranger, and I told her that my year hadn't started off as I had planned. And she said, well, the Chinese New Year is coming up, so you can have a fresh start then. I just looked it up, and turns out the New Year had already passed, but I didn't know that at the time, and this conversation still meant a lot to me. And And on February 5th, I read a journal entry for this new start. I love the new year. And I've never done this before, but I actually named this year. I called it my Golden Incubator Sandbox Year. All of these words had different meanings to me, but were relevant to my life at the time. Golden year. Truthfully, I didn't really know anything about Kobe Bryant before he died, but his impact and the legacy that he left on this world is undeniable. Something that I really just respected so much and took away was his quote, "The most important thing is to try to inspire people so that they can be great in whatever they want to do." I saw on Twitter that everyone who is 24 should live it up like their golden year. I'm really intelligent. Came from some stupid viral tweet that I can't even find right now. Kobe Bryant's number was 24 and he joined the NBA in 1996. So everyone who turned 24 that year should live it up like it's their golden year. I thought of this year, my 24th year, as being the year to make me golden and putting the time and effort in every single day despite wanting more instant gratification with a great job title or the numbers, because society and social media tell me to. This is pretty corny, honestly, but whatever, it's my life. This will be my best year for growth and for becoming my best golden self. I am incubating my tomorrow self, feeling connected to family and neighbors I've grown up with, and giving back to this community that shaped me. And then sandbox. A sandbox is somewhere you can run code or potentially isolate some code to test further in career when I knew more code. And coding a sandbox is a place where it's okay to make mistakes. At the worst, you can just jump back to the forked file, and at best, you'll be able to see the code and it working. The name in particular stuck with me. It brings a lot of really fun connotations. A place to play, to feel sand in between your hands, to build, to get dirty. Therefore, my Golden Incubator Sandbox year will be a huge time of learning and growth, of setting and developing lifelong habits for the betterment for the rest of my life. And then March came around.
All these things that we take for granted can be gone in an instant. So yeah, let's not take ourselves too seriously. Be kind to yourself because all we have is a short little time on earth.
I went from feeling so unlucky the month before to feeling like the luckiest person in the world. I haven't really posted a video for a really long time. I filmed a few videos, but it just kind of felt weird to be posting those types of videos. Like, they were kind of sad.
Oh god, okay.
I feel like that's not what the world needs right now. I was already at home, safe with my parents. I was happy that if anything happened, I could be there for them. And by nature, I'm an introvert. I just love being alone. I love my relationship that I have with myself. If I can be helpful or like inspire, taking up a new skill or doing something different, then I would love to. In a big way, I felt a sense of purpose again. I'm pretty worried about the future impacts that this pandemic will have on mental health, so I started a journaling workshop where I talk about the benefits of journaling and how to start. For me, sometimes it's really just about me wanting to give the worry some thought or acknowledgement so I can kind of let go of it, or it's something that I explore further. There are so many benefits to journaling. You're like, wow, am I really writing about this for like the 10th time in a row? I stepped out of my comfort zone and led 2 journaling workshops where me and my online community were able to donate $160 to City Meals on Wheels and $280 to the Loveland Foundation. Journaling is essential to my mental health, to my accountability to myself, and also just for me to process things, especially for introverts who like to deal with things privately or you don't feel like you're able to express yourself. I think that can manifest in kind of unhealthy ways, even physically, if it's not just mentally. Make no mistake, the censor is out to get you. It's a cunning foe. Every time you get smarter, so does it. You're always gonna have this voice in your head. You're always gonna have like this doubt, or people will give this voice to you. I like to kind of make it a noun. The idea of personifying it as someone separate from myself. Before this year, I think I actually used to be kind of scared to go outside, just like take a walk outside by myself, which was unfortunate because Alaska's nature is just not something to miss out on. I played piano, I ran 100 miles, I did yoga, I started doing things that I was interested in, developing my hobbies and bettering my habits without feeling guilty just because capitalism told me to. And a really important learning is I realized that a lot of my problems were self-created first world illusions. This is a good one. And then something magical happened on the 4th of July.
All broken down by the side of the road.
Will we fit? Will we fit? Stay tuned for the next episode.
It was a gloriously perfect Independence Day. Sunny and 75 degrees with fractals in the sky.
Whoa.
And we found ourselves on literally a golden beach.
This is a beach of gold.
Or one might say, a golden sandbox.
We are literally on a golden beach.
I looked at that guy like he was so dumb.
Joel's been here before. Or are they bubbles?
Okay, I don't really know if there was gold in the sand, but there was an illusion of gold in the sand. They captured it in camera. You had to be there. I got everyone to do yoga, my favorite thing. As we were facing the sun, I realized that that's probably why sun salutations are called sun salutations. Everyone has their own idea of the perfect golden sandbox. And at least at this very time and place in the world and universe, this is mine. I mean, the message really couldn't be delivered more clearly. And this is when I meet my neighbors.
I've just been waiting here for like 3 minutes for that moment.
We met on the roof, and after Ryan declined my invite for dinner that my parents forced me to go over to his house and invite him to, we became fast friends. I just took these ugly little Crocs and walked over from the roof. This is Ryan.
Wow, this looks so good.
And this is Polly. We called ourselves Du Bois. Polly and Ryan were in Alaska on missions for the Air Force. They were my neighbors. They were my therapists. They became my best friends, honestly. My dad would later describe them as just a breath of fresh air.
5-second rule.
That was like a 3-second delay.
Sick.
Leave me alone.
Oh, Mark.
No, I said, see you there. See? You there. See you there. Oh my God. I think the reason why I valued our relationship so much was not only because I loved spending time with him, but we were going through a really weird time in the world, in my family. This was the month that my dad's practice closed down, and he was also unemployed for the first time.
So pretty.
You gotta rip shots right now. How you guys doing?
My dad, being the retired colonel that he is, really related to these boys. He loved having them around. And they made our lives a lot better and more exciting during a difficult time.
I'm sorry, I didn't know it was in the
You were
fridge.
trying to hide it.
I wasn't holding out. Yeah. For lunch press right there.
I like how they just do like system checks on the house. How's your AC work?
How's this thing?
This is a spoon.
Even though we knew each other for less than 3 weeks,
Dr. Rob, you're king of the castle.
they felt like family.
Good. God bless you.
Let's go.
And they came at the perfect time. They were like little guardian angels. But like not at all angels.
Well, that'd be fun if we do that this weekend.
I will always be grateful for these boys, for the role that they played. They made a hard time not so hard. The boys. There were a lot of changes in October.
What are you doing?
Around.
Did you sell anything?
Yeah, a lot. Hey, how you doing?
My dad's losing his job the month prior led to him looking elsewhere to get a job ASAP. This was also the month that I officially quit my coding boot camp. I wasn't making that much progress in it, and I was also anticipating having to move out and having to pay for rent and living on my own. But truly, as one door closes, another door opens.
Hi everyone, my name's Anne-Marie Allen, and I'm the founder of Alaska Friends.
So a friend encouraged me to enter Alaska Friends into the Alaska Travel Industry Association's Shark Tank to promote tourism through video and social media.
Sharks are very happy to
And I ended up
award
winning $7,000.
to Alaska Friends for this new adventure in the digital community for Alaska tourism.
Thank you so much. I don't know what to say. Thank you.
I was awarded $7,000 for Alaska Friends, where I wanted to make content showcasing Alaska, its culture, and its beauty. Every single time I meet someone, everyone is always fascinated that I'm from Alaska, and so I thought video would be a perfect way to tell people and show people what it's really like to live in Alaska. Since I moved to Alaska in the 5th grade, I always kind of felt like a little bit of an outsider. But it also kind of makes me the perfect liaison to communicating and showing the Alaska that I get to experience through my own Alaska friends. So while my initial plan really was just to make Alaskan videos and try to tell Alaskan stories, once the pandemic hit, I realized that it would take a huge hit to our economy. Apparently, 1 in 9 jobs in Alaska are related to tourism. And so I thought creating content now would help drive tourism during peak summer months, for when it's safer to travel. But there's not only beauty and adventure in Alaska. There are a lot of problems too. We have the highest rape rate per capita, the second highest suicide rate per capita, and we're the 3rd most depressed state per capita. Talking about and sharing the stories of these topics are deeply important to me. I've been sexually assaulted. I put in a lot of time and energy to maintain my mental health, and I see a lot of my friends and people in my community dealing with substance abuse, dealing with mental health, really struggling. And the best way that I know how to deal with these things is first to talk about it and to tell these people that they're not going through this stuff alone. This is actually really common, and that there are ways to get better, and that things do get better.
Like, oh, this is a person who is the granddaughter of alcoholics, and it all boiled down to genetics and terrible. So all of her systems that came online when she was 2 and 5 and 6, they all came online during an alcoholic household.
It is Saturday night. It is October 17th. I have gone through Sober October really, really strong. I'm honestly really proud of myself, and I didn't realize how dependent I was on substances, especially throughout Corona. It just became a habit. Habits just play a huge part of your life, and if you're not actively thinking about them, then you're not setting like a course correction, and you're just not participating actively in your life. I'm listening to this Joe Rogan podcast with Ali Makovsky talking about how much of you are you? Like, how much of you are you actively being you? A lot of people just don't really actively think about this until it's kind of like too late, or until they hit like rock bottom. And I really don't think that I have like a huge problem, but it's also just like, could my life be better? And I feel like this month I've been so productive, like so much more productive. I don't know if it's like really the Sober October part, or just a lot of stuff has been happening this month for me, and it's kind of all like leading up to this month. But I don't know. Yeah, I'm just like, wow, if this is like a lot due to sobriety, maybe I should like consider this longer. It's like, why am I doing what I'm doing? It's literally just out of habit for the most part, I think. And it's like not me actively choosing to live my life. It's just like letting it happen. So yeah, I'm gonna go to my friend's house now. Hope that we end up at McDonald's or other fries.
Eyelash right frozen.
Oh my god!
So in December, Elliot Choi and Kelly Wakasa came to experience Alaska and blog about it. Yeah! To me, this experience kind of reaffirmed my thoughts that Alaska is a unique and incredible place to visit and experience, even through social media. It's funny because I saw a tweet that said, "You don't pick your niche picks you." I feel like this is true. I never thought that I would spend my 20s in Alaska, but now that I'm back, I feel a sense of purpose to contribute to and build up my community.
Ian made this really cool thingy. He's going to push me in it. I hope I will not die. Okay, it is February 3rd. It's the day that I'm going to post this video. In January, I posted a video about how I contracted coronavirus. I contracted coronavirus in December, had it, recovered from it, tested, saw on the CDC that it's highly unlikely that you can get or spread coronavirus for 90 days after you recover from your symptoms. We have a condo in Hawaii where I don't have to interact with a single other person to get to it or outside of it. And before my parents had to sell or rent the place, they were like, you might as well go and get some sun because you're not looking too great from literally just not seeing the sun or going outside. I realize now how freaking creepy and weird that comes across, is like announcing that I had coronavirus and also going to Hawaii in the same video. I also acknowledge that no matter the context, I wasn't posting about it on Instagram. I thought the context would help explain kind of why I thought it was okay to be in Hawaii. But regardless, it was still promoting leisurely travel to Hawaii during a global pandemic, which is the ultimate form of privilege and just not necessary at all. What I didn't consider is that, God forbid, if I get hit by a car, I would overwhelm the hospital systems, and encouraging that during a global pandemic when the hospital systems are small and needed is irresponsible. I always talk about how my content I try to make with a purpose, and that video was absolutely pointless. Thank you for holding me accountable. I always want this place, my channel, to be a place where my viewers feel comfortable and confident that I'm conscientious and I'm always trying to do the right thing. And so I'm grateful that I have an audience who's smart enough and who keeps me accountable to trying to live my core values. I'm even doing sober maybe till May. So I was able to really sit and have to confront my feelings and my anxieties that this brought and acknowledge my role in a global pandemic. And it's even frustrating for me because I have totally been that person and that friend who has gotten into arguments in person with my friends because of their negative role and impacts in a global pandemic. Most of the comments I got were very constructive. Some of the comments that I got were just filled with hate. And I understand that we're in a global pandemic and people are very frustrated. People have been inside their homes for so long. But you never know what someone's mental state is, what they're going through at the time. And I personally would never want to contribute to the downward spiral of someone's mental health. That just could not be me. I really care. I do. And I'm positive from the comments that I got, there are going to be people that use this as an opportunity to criticize my every single move. But I know that if I'm trying to do anything that is outside the norm, just hasn't been done before, I will continue to mess up. But I hope that my community and my viewers and people know that I'm always trying to do the best thing and that I'm always willing to learn. So this is an invitation to kind of pull up a chair, to observe the roles that we play in bettering our communities and bettering the world as a whole, observing when you fuck up and owning up to that and being accountable for that, but also moving on and being okay with moving on, because everyone on this planet is learning, everyone is gonna make mistakes, and that's how you grow. That's the beauty of this channel, is I hope that people watching it can feel like they are learning and growing alongside with me. So here is to continual growth in 2021, and thank you all for being a part of my journey.